A few of the stories to tell you about this week at NASA. We're looking for ideas from American companies on a human landing system for our Artemis program, which aims to put the first woman and next man on the moon by 2024. Although internal studies point to a 3-stage landing system to safely transport astronauts between the moon and our lunar gateway, we're interested in alternative approaches that can accomplish the same long-term goals of global lunar access and reusability. Our Artemis missions will use what we learn on the moon to prepare for human missions to Mars.
Hey, what's up guys? Jake the Asshole here, and according to a video recently released by NASA, they are looking for ideas from American companies for an alternative lunar landing system. Of course, NASA is regarded by many as being at the forefront of space travel. And we just celebrated the 50-year anniversary of NASA landing on the moon back in 1969. Now, here's where the problem comes in, and the reason why NASA is looking for ideas from American companies for an alternative lunar landing system. NASA admittedly has destroyed and lost the technology to get to the moon. Many NASA fanboys are unaware that NASA admittedly has lost and destroyed the technology to get to the moon. Many NASA fanboys, when asked about why NASA hasn't returned to the moon, their response is that funding has been cut or NASA has already been to the moon, so there's no reason to go back. Instead, NASA needs to go to Mars. When in fact, when you go ask NASA why they haven't been to the moon in 50 years, their answer is that they've lost and destroyed the technology and it's a painful process to build it back up again. And if you think I'm making that up, here is your proof from a NASA astronaut.
Read between the lines. Take a listen.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
So there you have it, folks. Right out of NASA's own mouth, they currently don't have the technology to get back to the moon because they lost and destroyed that technology from the late 60s and early 70s, and it's a painful process to build it back up again. So that's the reason why they're looking for ideas from American companies to get back to the moon. You see, they lost all that technology, so now they're looking for ideas for alternative methods and alternative ways to get back to the moon. Now, I personally have an idea, and I am an American company. I sing for a living, and I create YouTube content, and those two incomes together make my own business. I'm my own boss. This is my company. I'm Jake Incorporated Asshole and Associates. I have the perfect idea for NASA to get back to the moon. Nobody's idea is going to beat this idea. So, here goes. The perfect way to get back to the moon would be to recreate the 1969 lunar module. I mean, you have plenty of photos of it. There are still people who are alive who maybe worked on it or were around at that time. Even an astronaut who claims to have been in the thing and landed on the moon is still alive. So the original 1969 lunar module is the perfect starting point. My reasoning is the 1969 lunar module had never been to space before. No one had any idea whether this thing was going to work or not. And on the first try, they nailed the landing. Not only did the Apollo 11 rocket make it to the moon just perfectly. The lunar orbiter detached from the rocket and made it to the moon just perfectly on the first try. And then the lunar module detached from the lunar orbiter and landed on the moon perfectly first try. And then everyone's spacesuits worked perfectly on the first try, so definitely you want to go ahead and remodel your spacesuits after those original 1969 spacesuits. And also, the original lunar dune buggy. That thing was awesome. It worked perfectly on the first try. Everything worked perfectly. And then the system they used to get back from the moon back to Earth, that worked perfectly as well. So all they need to do is go back and study the pictures and ask people who were around at the time to possibly figure out how they can recreate the 1969 lunar module and all of its accompanying technology. That would work perfect. It worked perfect. In fact, all of the moon missions went perfect except for one of them. And in fact, nobody ever died on any of the missions. Can you believe that? No one ever was on the moon and had their spacesuit fail or got stuck there somehow because they couldn't get back or crash landed. Nothing like that ever happened. Everything worked perfect. But somehow, some way, NASA lost and destroyed all that technology. So rather than try and find some other alternative technology to get back to the moon, which might fail, which could be really dangerous if you use any alternative technology, my suggestion as an American company would be to go back and recreate the 1969 lunar module as best as possible and everything else that went along with it. The lunar dune buggy, the spacesuits, the whole 9 yards. Just recreate that technology. They got through the Van Allen radiation belts just perfectly. Everything worked perfectly. Just do that again. Every other technology in the world seems to progress and just get better and better and better and better. But somehow, space travel technology to the moon has somehow stopped completely in its tracks, and NASA has no clue how to get back, so they need the help from American companies. Well, I think my suggestion is the best you're ever gonna get. Just do what you did back in '69, bruh. Just do that. This has been just another opinion from Jake the Asshole. Opinions are like assholes, and everyone's got one, and this is just my opinion. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see y'all next time. Peace. But before you go, make sure to arm yourself with the best damn shirt you could possibly wear, with the coolest hoodie you could ever slip over your dome. This design has been tested and is guaranteed to blow minds and wake people up as you walk down the street. Do not cheat yourself out of wearing the best possible clothing design ever designed in the history of the world. It is available on teespring.com and in the link in the description and on the link on the screen. Order now!